Good morning, everyone. This morning we're going to run through a feature in our P6-Loader and for our mini webinar. It's how we can do backups, automated backups with P6-Loader. Now, P6 has job services for backups, but they're not as flexible and full functionality. So that's why we've built it into our tool. I'm Nicole Jardin, joining you actually from Montreal, and Sue is actually going to do all the heavy lifting, and she's in Wyoming right now. So I'm going to pass it right over to her, and she's going to go ahead and show you how the backups work using P6-Loader.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So with P6-Loader, we have the option to do backups automatically of your database. What this helps with is if you lose a project, or it gets deleted, or it just gets, I guess, messed up enough that you want to restore it from a previous version, P6-Loader can kind of avoid some of a lot of times you have to go to IT to get that backup, or and you need to wait for them, things like that. So with P6-Loader, you can actually set up backups. So we're going to be working in this automate area of P6-Loader. And the first thing we're going to do is go in and look at our databases. So what we have here is we have all of our databases that are connected to this P6-Loader. And I am able to go in and decide how often I want to back up and what I want to back up. Now, this is kind of an all or none type of thing that you can set up, but I'll go in a moment and see how you can select specific projects to be backed up as well. So your database gets set up with the username and password, and what you can do is you can export daily if you'd like, and you can set what you want to export daily based on the status of the project in P6. So if I were to enable this one right now, I would be exporting daily all of my active statused projects. Now, we do have the option to back up your layouts, your filters, your global changes, and your reports. So you can also enable those as well. You can also choose to export weekly, and that is also based on the status of your project. So if you wanted to back up all of your active projects daily, you might want to back up the rest of your projects on a weekly basis, and you can go ahead and choose the day that you want those backups to occur. Now, we selectively do this, and I'll show you how we do that later on, but you can also as you are pulling out information from P6 for your backups, you can choose a configuration that you're going to use when you are pulling out a P6-Loader type of backup. So you have the option to back something up as an XML and or a Excel file that can be used with P6-Loader. So I've already set up a configuration for this particular database, but when you set it up, you can go out and you can choose that configuration to run so that you can see that, just that limited amount of information. So once that is set up, you just click apply. And so I can show you where I would set up this configuration. This is in my Automate Modules area. In the Automate Modules area, we do have on the left-hand side is what you would pull out in the way of global data, and the right-hand side is what you would pull out when you are pulling out a project. So on the left-hand side, we have some defaults that we do put in, but maybe you don't use, any of this EPS spending benefit budget type of stuff, funding. Maybe you don't want to pull those out every time that you do a backup of your global data. You can remove those and any other type of information that you just don't use. You can also decide on each one of your activities, or each one of your projects, what do you want to pull out? You can see that we're pulling out the activity code type. We've got some risk information. Maybe if you don't use risk, you might not want any of that risk information. And then we have our project information as well as our activity information that's going to get pulled out when we pull out a project. Now, in order to save that configuration, you just go out and you go and save and load your definitions. Oh, and let me get that off my screen. And you can choose to save as, and then you would name it and make it a personal, a team or a global, depending on where you are. Normally for a configuration, I set it up as a global one, which I have done in the case of the one that I had set up prior, so that I could show you where we put that. So that's how you can decide what is going to come out on your Excel spreadsheet when you pull a backup. Now, when you run your backups, you're going to have this job area that's going to have those backups that are showing you by date. And in my case, since I have more than one database, which database it is. So in order to get those backups, you just need to say, I want to restore from the 22nd. I can download that zip file. And when it completes, I can open it up. Just got to wait a moment for it to complete. When I open it up, maybe, oh, looks like it's still going. Well, it says it's done, but it's not coming up. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you can see that I've got several different types of files in here. For my West TA project, I have chosen to bring out that information as a backup, both as a P6-Loader file as well as an XML file. All of your global backups are brought out with an Excel sheet so that you can go out and choose what you want to restore. So if an activity code for some reason got deleted and it didn't need to be deleted, you might need to restore it and then go back and restore it also in your projects as well. Now the rest of these are coming out as an XML file. So I can extract what I need, and then I can use either P6-Loader or the import for P6 to import that project or that global data in to P6. Now, I talked about what we could do individually with each project. We do have some fields that are going to be in your Primavera instance here. So these are all going to be prefixed by the P6L prefix. And there's both codes and UDFs that are available here. So some of those that you might want to take a look at, if I want to pick and choose which projects I'm actually going to export on a daily basis, I can choose to, say yes or no, and pick and choose which ones I want. So you can see with this one here, at one point it was set to yes, and I no longer need to back it up. Maybe it's closed. Maybe it's not having any more changes done to it. And so I selected skip on it. So now it's not going to be exported out. On these other ones, I can see that I've got yes on. So these are going to automate daily. They're going to back up daily based upon the value that I put upon in this automate daily area. I can also choose what I want to back up. What do I want to come out to bring out? So I've got the availability to do the project only. I've got the project and its current baseline as an option, as well as the project and all of its baselines to come out. So I have options to set there as well. Now, if there's nothing in my automate export format, it will automatically assume you want an XML file. So that's the default, is an XML file. However, if I wanted to bring out just a P6-Loader file, I could do that. If I want to do a P6-Loader file and a P6 XML, and if I want to change it back to an XML, I can do that as well. So you can see that this was TA22 was the one that I had a P6-Loader file available for in my backup download. I'm going to get some indicators. These indicators are going to indicate, did this backup successfully, and what date was it last run for this daily export here. So you can see that I've got this daily here. The red means that something failed on it. In the last run message, it's going to tell you, did it complete successfully as it did in these ones that are green? And then in the one that's red, it's going to give me a reason as to why it failed so that I can go in and I can investigate what maybe happened when it was trying to back this particular project up. I also have the options to do a automate weekly, and I will get a last run for my weekly on that as well. And I can do monthly too. So I have options out here in P6 itself to designate individually each project. Do I want it daily? Do I want it weekly? Do I want it monthly? And again, I do have that option as to what day on my weekly that I can choose for that backup to run. On my monthly area, what I have is I can put, some different options on here. I could do the first day of the month, the first Monday, etc., second. And so I can very well pinpoint what day of the month I want that backup to run on a monthly basis. So this is very helpful when you are needing to restore some data into your P6 environment and have it readily available for you to self-serve what you want to restore in your P6 database. So this is a pretty simple part of the P6 Loader tool that allows you to back up your data in your P6 database. So I don't know if we have any questions. Let me take a look.
No, we're okay.
Okay. That sounds good. So short and sweet, very simple to set up backups in your for your database using P6-Loader.
Okay. Can the time be set, Sue?
On
the specific time?
The specific time,
Yeah.
that is an option when you deploy the tool. You can set that time. It's a configuration.
In the back
So
end?
you can set the time. Yes,
Okay.
in the back end.
Okay.
You can set up the time that you want either a weekly or a monthly backup to kick off.
Okay. And then I think the other thing is, what do you think is the differences between this and the job services? For me, the flexibility is much higher in the way that we've built it out. It's easier to get at. And do you have some other points to make for that on that?
Actually, yes. The being able to see exactly, you can pick, an EPS, you can pick individual projects. Having to do that with with the job services, if you have a new project that comes out and or that you have created and it is not included in that job services job that you've set to run for a backup, um, you have to go out there and manually, go out, find it, set that, I want this project as well to come out. Here you can do it right on your P6 window, where you can put just a simple yes, saying that I do want, this is a new project, I do want it to be backed up. And by default, it's going to back up anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just overall it's easier to use, more control, easier to grab the stuff if you need it,
Correct.
and more reliable would be some of the things that we've seen. We don't build things unless we need to. So, okay, great. Thanks, Sue. So
You're welcome.
thanks for attending. These are our mini webinar series, which we'll be doing for the next few months, just so we focus on a very specific topic, show it to you in a short webinar, and then rather than, because we have so many features inside P6-Loader, we never have a chance to show all of them. Is there a limitation on the number of schedules that can be backed up from a production cloud DB? I mean, the limitation will be the space that you have available, I guess, would be the limitation. But we have this being used by some very, very, very big clients with thousands of projects. Sue, so have you seen any other limitation to be aware of?
No, I have not. Pretty much, it'll back up whatever you need to. The limitation would be, the size of, wherever you're putting those backups.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only, I know in our, I think in our demo, we hit a wall. We just had to clear out some space and make it bigger. So that's the only thing we've seen that you need to be aware of when you're setting it up. Okay, great. So you're all welcome to join some other upcoming webinars. We've got our new BI Gantt view tool for Power BI that you might not be aware of. So we've got a few coming up on that. And we've got for the Oracle Primavera Cloud coming up, Unifier coming up, and we'll have more coming up for P6. So just stay tuned, and you're of course welcome to those. And if you had any additional questions, just reach out to Sue. Here's her contact info, or Donna if you're in that part of the world. Okay, great. I'll